Have you ever desired to have more control over your modifiers? Well, with the last update I've brought quite a lot. And as you can see, well, there's nothing special about this. It's still a work in progress. There's not even the names for some of the properties. I'm still working on that. But I've got the answer for you, which is I don't think this is useful. This is really, really confusing. Like, even let's say I was in pose mode. How am I going to access, for example, these doors? Like the modifiers on these doors if I'm in the pose mode, which I entered again with the same add-on by simply clicking on the object. Same for weight paint. Face, vertex, edge, sculpt, object. Sorry, sculpt is non-reversible, unlike pose and weight paint. But enough of that. Back to object mode, and well, you'll be asking, how can I access that? Well, there's a really neat support for that. The object tab modifier, the object modifier tab, which, as you can see, brings back a reordered in the first place modifier creation panel that was like in the previous versions, unlike where is it even? Unlike whatever the fuck this is, honestly. And well, what's so special about this? There's a lot of modifiers missing here. There's these buttons which do whatever they do. No clue, right? Well, that's the way to collapse the modifier, but you'll notice it's on the object name. It's not on the modifier themselves. Why is it that? Well, this is why. This add-on is specifically for full screen workflow. You can just have objects. Let's say I want to change something on the door here. Maybe the triangulate is making it hard for me to see, so I'll just turn off wireframe. But no, actually I need the wireframe without the triangulate, so batch visibility. It lists every modifier type in everything in the selection, and triangulate. Show is off, and that's it. Directly from where you were. Or maybe you want to turn off bevel. Or maybe you want triangulate again and show it. That's it. Maybe you're having issues with the armature modifier, so just turn it off, and the armature nothing happens to the armature, and it's still fully visible. But why turn off the armature? Well, why not do that? There's simply from here directly. You're not even. This is not pose mode. If I was in pose mode, it will say it was in pose mode. No, as long as you have in the selection something that has an armature, you can just toggle it. This doesn't have an armature, but is parented to an armature, as you can see. It doesn't have an armature modifier. No, sorry, it actually does. That's on me. It's to export it, but I'm implementing that next version, if I can manage to. And that's it. You just have this ready whenever you want, even in sculpt mode. Maybe you want to change something for that position. Really easy. But what are these other things? Well, this is apply, delete, the dreaded arrows to move up and down the modifiers, which if I can manage to find a way to actually implement the drag and drop, which I absolutely doubt I will ever be able to. You also have this. You can easily control them. Maybe, well, how am I going to create modifiers on this panel? Like if there's multiple objects in the selection, maybe some not even active, how am I going to create that? Well, notice something. I'll open all of them, and let's see, I want a solidify. Well, it appeared in all of them. So as you can see now, there is also batch creation of modifiers, which is even easier. Like for example, I want to, I don't know, I'll remove every bevel from here, a bunch of bevels, which this is an issue. I'm still not sure if I'll implement like a selective addition, like it stops duplicates from being created, but that's to see in another update. But yeah, so batch visibility. This apply replace modifier is useful for retopology when you're basically working with shrink wrap, for example. This copies, this applies, copies, and sets every single option of the modifier you just applied into a new one. So it's basically doing the whole shrink wrap, apply it, reselect the object, reapply everything to avoid the shrink wrap displacement that you usually have when sculpting on the shrink wrapped mesh. There is also, for example, there is all these tools, which actually Symmetrize IK was gone for a while because I forgot I renamed the UI row in which it was, so it was failing to actually add it to the UI. But as you can see, there is also bone chain on edge strip, which is as simple as the name says. Like, I'll just do this as long as it's a single strip like this, as long as there isn't something like this, that it's a vertex with multiple like connections to it. Well, I'll just press that. I want, let's say, a test armature. I want it to go from the top to here. It will automatically base itself based on the Z, on the local Z axis. So this is higher than this, so this will be the top. Okay, that's it. It created it. It's in the normals also of the surface. It will follow the normal. It's made specifically for layers, but as you can see, it's available for all kinds of things. As visible here, the normals change due to the bevel. There's all these kinds of features. There is Symmetrize IK, which I cannot show currently because it requires IK, as I imagined. There is Group by Sim, which allows, for example, if I want this section to be separated, I'll just mark it Sim, and well, what does it do exactly? Go back into face mode, whatever mode you want, as long as it's edit mode. Press VX group mask by Sim, and as you can see now, if I turn off also this the render tab panel, it masked everything, and also it created a bunch of vertex groups. As you can see, this is useful for like retopology when you need to keep boundaries, but you need something like a smooth modifier. So it just basically creates everything on its own. And I just realized I'm with my hand in front of my camera, so my model was most likely going insane. Let me reset it. As you can see, it's really easy. And UV extract island, for example, is still a work in progress. And let me revert the same marking. As you can see, that's marked properly. Going back a bit. Here we go. I'll just select the object, which you don't need to do. You just need to be in edit mode. You don't need to select anything specific. This is the UV map of this. It's a packed UV. It's a smart unwrapped packed UV, and well, edit mode. You can deselect everything. You just click it, and it creates everything as not as it was in the yeah. Okay, as you can see, I'm not really sure on what I'm doing exactly. This is unfortunate. I'll keep it in the video anyway. Yeah, this is it. This is the isolate. For example, if I want these 3 objects, isolate, that's it. Show again. If I hide this manually, I can still have the same thing to show. It won't revert that visibility. And yeah, there's object properties. As you can see, same type of menu. I still need to rework this UI because it's fucking painful to see, to look at. There's this button to simply revert the isolated objects in case that, well, my add-on fucks up somehow. Again, now there is an issue with the bevel. I just toggled it off by accident. Show it again. That's it. There's a that's a UI editor, which one day I should add back. This is the render tab. As you can see, there is a bunch of settings you can do directly in here. And yeah, same for the render. Just here, I'll be adding more slowly. Any bug reports you have, anything, I also need to implement back. There was options to customize this UI, which I completely forgot to add back again. It's really not my forte to organize things, so yeah, I hope you enjoy this add-on. I hope you're enjoying this workflow for how badly made it is. Still, yeah, thank you for downloading it, for purchasing it if you wanted to support me on Blender Market. It's also free on GitHub if you want. There is also on Gumroad, which is basically it's literally a download link from GitHub once you purchase it. So if you want to donate through that or through Ko-Fi, yeah, this is completely free. You can just download it and have all these settings, all these tools and settings available to you. There is also this, which is somewhat better than this mess, which is really confusing to me. There's also this, no, that's another add-on. There is also this menu, which I didn't talk too much about, which, as you can imagine, this is section-wide, by the way. This is not a single object. Anything in the selection that has these types here will be edited. Like if I have 15 armatures, I don't know. I don't remember if it works with armatures. I don't think there is a shared mode. Oh no, there is. As you can see, anything in the selection, which also I should mention, anything is filtered. So even if you have other objects selected, it will still go into that mode, which I need to implement for pose as well, but if I remember. And this is basically it. There should be, maybe in the next patch, if I can manage to not make it crash, a particle edit mode as well, which I severely doubt it's going to work because I've tried it already 2 times and it crashes instantly as soon as you try to enter it. There is something wrong with that mode that stops it from working like this. And well, I already ended the video too soon without explaining that, but yeah, thank you again for the download. I hope you're having a nice day modeling. I don't know. Thank you.